Disrespect rarely announces itself. It doesn't arrive loudly. It doesn't shout. It doesn't declare war. Instead, it whispers. Most men believe disrespect looks obvious. Insults, confrontation, aggression. That belief keeps them blind. By the time open disrespect appears, the real damage is already done. Authority has already shifted. Power has already moved away from them. The truth is simple and uncomfortable. Disrespect begins long before words turn hostile. It begins in tone, in timing, in posture, in what is not said. Human beings are constantly communicating status, whether consciously or not. Every interaction contains signals that answer one question: where do you stand relative to me? The hidden language of disrespect is not spoken with vocabulary. It is spoken with behavior, and most men are never trained to read it. A delayed response that feels slightly too long, a joke that lands just a little too sharp, an interruption that goes unchallenged, a request framed as an assumption instead of a question. Individually, these moments feel small, dismissible, easy to rationalize. Men tell themselves they're being calm, mature, unbothered. But what they are actually doing is ignoring data. Disrespect thrives in ambiguity. It hides behind humor so it can retreat if challenged. It hides behind politeness so it can deny intention. It hides behind misunderstanding so responsibility disappears. This is why many men feel something is wrong in an interaction but can't explain why. Their body senses the shift before their mind understands it. The discomfort is real, but untrained. Here is the critical truth most men never hear. Disrespect is not about hatred. It is about testing. People do not disrespect you because they dislike you. They disrespect you to see what happens next, to see whether you will correct it, to see whether you will tolerate it, to see whether you will shrink, explain, joke along, or ignore it. And every response teaches them something. If you laugh when something crosses a line, you teach permission. If you explain instead of correct, you teach vulnerability. If you ignore without presence, you teach weakness, not dominance. The hidden language of disrespect is learned behavior. And like all learned behavior, it escalates when rewarded. This is why disrespect feels progressive. It starts light and becomes heavier. Not because the other person suddenly changed, but because your responses trained them. The most dangerous part is this: disrespect does not require intent. A person does not need to consciously decide to undermine you. Human beings instinctively respond to strength and weakness. They lean where resistance is low. They push where boundaries are soft. They take space where it is not defended. This is not cruelty. It is nature. Men who maintain respect are not louder. They are not aggressive. They are not emotional. They are clear. They recognize the first signal. They respond early. They do not wait for disrespect to become undeniable, because by the time it is undeniable, it is already normalized. In the next part, you'll learn the first major category of hidden disrespect signals, the subtle behaviors people use to quietly lower your status while appearing innocent on the surface. Timing, tone, and the first crack in respect. The earliest signs of disrespect almost never come through words. They come through timing and tone. This is where most men fail, because they are listening for insults instead of observing behavior. Timing is one of the clearest indicators of perceived status. When someone respects you, their timing adjusts to you. When they don't, they make you wait. A delayed reply that feels unnecessary. A response that comes only after you follow up. A pattern of forgetting you while remembering others. These are not logistical issues. They are subconscious prioritization. People make time for what they respect. They delay what they don't fear losing. Men often excuse this behavior. He's busy. She didn't see it. They're just bad at replying. Excuses are how disrespect survives. The issue is not a single delay. The issue is patterned delay without consequence. When timing changes and nothing corrects it, a message is sent. You are adjustable. Tone works the same way. Respectful tone is neutral, direct, and measured. Disrespectful tone is subtle, but detectable. A sentence that sounds slightly condescending. A joke delivered with a flat or patronizing edge. A question asked as if you owe an answer. The words may be polite. The tone is not. Tone reveals internal positioning. Someone who respects you speaks to you. Someone who doesn't speaks over you or around you. And here's the key detail most men miss. Tone testing happens early because it's reversible. If challenged, the other person can retreat. I didn't mean it that way. You're reading too much into it. I was just joking. This is why hidden disrespect is dangerous. It comes with built-in denial, and when you don't respond, the test passes. Another early signal is assumptive behavior. Statements replace questions. Just send it over. You'll handle that. Let me know when you're done. These phrases assume access to your time and effort. They bypass consent. Men who hold respect instinctively slow these moments down. Men who don't accept the assumption. The difference is not aggression, it's correction. Correction does not require explanation. It requires presence, a pause, a look, a neutral response that reasserts boundary. What kills respect fastest is over-accommodation, agreeing too quickly, adjusting without resistance, explaining why you're okay with it. Accommodation tells people you are easy to move, and people move what is easy. Here is the hard truth. Disrespect is not built through cruelty. It is built through convenience. When people learn they can change your timing, your pace, or your tone without friction, they do it unconsciously. Not because they want to dominate you, but because the environment allows it. Men who retain respect notice timing shifts immediately. They do not panic. They do not accuse. They simply do not adapt downward. They maintain their pace. They keep their tone steady. They refuse to chase alignment. And because they do not chase, others recalibrate. In the next part, you'll learn how humor and casualness are used as the most effective tools of disguised disrespect, and why laughing at the wrong moment permanently lowers your position. How humor is used to lower you without open attack. One of the most effective tools of hidden disrespect is humor. Not obvious insults, not open mockery, but casual jokes that land just slightly at your expense. This is where most men collapse their own position, because they mistake tolerance for strength. A joke is made. It's small. It's deniable. Everyone is smiling. And you laugh. That laugh is not harmless. It is data. When someone jokes at your expense, they are not trying to be funny. They are testing how much social pressure it takes to bend you. Humor is the safest weapon because it has a built-in escape route. If you respond, "You're sensitive. I was just joking. Relax." The joke is never about humor. It is about hierarchy. The hidden message of a disrespectful joke is, "I can lower you publicly, and you will accept it to preserve harmony." Once that message is confirmed, the behavior escalates. The jokes become sharper, the audience grows. The tone shifts from playful to familiar dominance. Men often justify laughing along as confidence. It's not. Confidence does not require self-erasure. There is a difference between laughing with and being laughed at. Unreadable men understand this difference instantly. They don't overreact, they don't get emotional, but they also don't reward the behavior. They might respond with silence. They might shift the topic. They might look at the person without smiling. The key is this: they remove payoff. Disrespect survives on reward. Reward can be laughter, engagement, or visible discomfort. Take away the reward, and the behavior collapses. Another form of disguised disrespect is casual diminishment. Phrases like, "You always overthink. That's just how you are. You're funny like that." These statements reduce you to a predictable pattern. They frame you as known, categorized, limited. When you accept that framing, you lose leverage. Why? Because power lives in unpredictability. Men who are respected are not easily summarized. They are not reduced to a label. They resist being boxed. Disrespect begins when people feel safe defining you. This is why confident men don't rush to self-describe. They don't narrate their identity. They let others remain uncertain. Humor is also used to bypass boundaries. A request disguised as a joke. "Guess you'll handle it, right?" Don't be difficult. Laughing along turns a demand into an obligation. Now you are trapped. If you refuse, you look uptight. If you comply, you reinforce access. This is how boundaries erode quietly. The solution is not confrontation. It is non-cooperation with the frame. You don't explain why it's not funny. You don't justify discomfort. You simply don't play. Men who hold respect understand this. They don't kill jokes. They kill patterns. They let one slide if needed, but they never let a pattern settle. Because once a pattern forms, your position shifts permanently. In the next part, you'll see how requests, favors, and small asks are used to map your limits, and how saying yes too quickly teaches people exactly how far they can go. These small favors are used to map your limits. Disrespect rarely begins with confrontation. It begins with requests. Not big ones, small ones, harmless ones, reasonable ones. "Can you do me a quick favor? Can you just handle this one thing? It'll only take a minute." Most men say yes immediately. They think compliance builds goodwill. They think helpfulness builds trust. They think being easy to work with earns respect. It doesn't. It creates a map. Every favor you accept without friction gives people information about you. How quickly you respond, how much inconvenience you tolerate, how often you prioritize others over yourself. This information is not used consciously. It is stored subconsciously. And subconsciously, people adjust their behavior around what they believe they can extract from you. The first request tests availability. The second tests flexibility. The third tests endurance. By the fourth, the request is no longer a request. It's an expectation. This is how men become overused without realizing when it happened. Respect does not erode because you helped once. It erodes because you helped without resistance. Men who are respected do help, but they help on their terms. They pause, they consider. They don't rush to reassure. That pause matters. A pause signals autonomy. Immediate agreement signals dependency. People respect what is choosing, not what is eager. Another hidden test comes through last-minute asks. When someone waits until the final moment to involve you, they are testing urgency control. If you scramble to accommodate, you send a message, "My time is flexible, yours is not." That message reshapes hierarchy. Men who retain respect do something subtle. They maintain their pace even under pressure. They don't rush because someone else failed to plan. They don't absorb chaos they didn't create. They might still help, but without sacrifice theater. No stress, no apology, no justification. Because the moment you apologize for protecting your time, you teach people that your time is negotiable. Another form of disguised disrespect is emotional favors. Listening endlessly, absorbing complaints, being the understanding one. This drains status faster than physical favors. Why? Because emotional labor creates asymmetry. One person unloads, the other contains. Over time, the container is seen as stable but not respected, reliable but not feared. Men who are respected regulate emotional access. They don't cut people off. They don't become cold. They simply don't become dumping grounds. Here is the rule most men never learn. Every favor either increases your leverage or decreases it. There is no neutral exchange. If helping you costs nothing and gains you nothing, it trains dependency. If helping requires consideration, it maintains balance. This is why respected men are not the most helpful men. They are the most selective men. They help when it aligns. They decline without guilt. They don't over-explain refusal. And because refusal is rare, it carries weight. Disrespect grows where limits are unclear. Respect grows where limits are felt. In the next part, you'll see how interruptions, over-familiarity, and boundary-crossing behavior signal a deeper loss of position, and how men unknowingly invite it by trying to stay agreeable. Over-familiarity signal lost position. One of the clearest indicators of hidden disrespect is interruption. Not loud interruption, not aggressive dominance. Casual interruption. Someone speaks over you, finishes your sentence, redirects the conversation while you're talking, and you let it happen. Most men ignore this because it feels minor. They don't want to appear insecure. They don't want to make it awkward. That decision costs them more than they realize. Interruption is not about enthusiasm. It is about priority. When someone interrupts you, they are unconsciously saying, "My words matter more than yours. My timing overrides yours." And when you allow it without correction, you confirm that hierarchy. The dangerous part is not the interruption itself, it is the pattern. Once someone learns they can cut you off without consequence, they will do it again, and others will follow. Status is contagious. Men who are respected do not tolerate repeated interruption, but they also don't confront it emotionally. They do something more effective. They stop speaking. They wait. they resume where they left off. This forces the interrupter to feel the disruption. It resets the rhythm. It reclaims the floor without conflict. Overfamiliarity works the same way. Being called nicknames you didn't consent to, personal comments made publicly, private jokes used to lower your seriousness. This behavior masquerades as closeness. In reality, it's boundary erosion. Overfamiliarity is disrespect that pretends to be comfort. Men often accept it because they fear appearing rigid. They think flexibility equals confidence. But confidence does not mean unlimited access. Respected men are warm, but not loose. Approachable, but not penetrable. They choose familiarity. They do not absorb it automatically. Another common signal is physical boundary drift. Standing too close, touching without invitation, invading personal space. Men who don't defend space lose presence. Not because space is sacred, but because territory is psychological. People unconsciously measure how much of you they can occupy. Time, attention, emotion, space. If all are accessible without friction, your perceived value drops. This is why respected men appear grounded. They move less. They shift less. They don't shrink to accommodate others' nervous energy. They let the world adjust to them. Overfamiliarity thrives on your desire to be liked. Interruption thrives on your fear of conflict. Both disappear when you stop prioritizing comfort over position. Here is the principle most men miss. Disrespect does not require hostility. It only requires permission. Permission is granted through silence, laughter, compliance, and avoidance. Take away permission, and behavior recalibrates. Not through confrontation, through consistency. You don't need to call people out. You need to stop compensating. Let the awkward moment exist. Let the silence stretch. Let the other person feel the imbalance. Most will correct themselves. Because disrespect survives only when it goes unnoticed or unchallenged. In the final part, you'll understand why some men are never questioned at all, and how authority is communicated before a single word is spoken. Why some men are never questioned at all. At the highest level, disrespect disappears entirely. Not because these men demand respect, not because they intimidate, not because they dominate conversations, but because their presence removes the impulse to test them. People do not question men who feel internally settled. This is the part most men misunderstand. They think respect comes from asserting themselves more, from correcting others, from defending boundaries verbally. That is low-level authority. High-level authority operates before interaction. Men who are never questioned broadcast 3 signals consistently: internal certainty, emotional containment, non-reactivity. These signals are felt, not observed. You can't fake them, you embody them. The moment a man walks into a room, people unconsciously scan for instability. Does he need validation? Does he seek approval? Does he react emotionally? If the answer is yes, testing begins automatically. If the answer is no, the testing impulse shuts down. This is why some men are interrupted constantly while others are waited on. Why some are debated while others are accepted. Why some must explain while others simply state. The difference is not rank, it is self-location. Men who are never questioned know where they stand internally. They are not searching for confirmation. They are not negotiating identity. They are not asking the room who they are. And because they are not asking, no one answers. Questioning arises where there is uncertainty. When a man is uncertain about himself, others step in to define him. When a man is settled, others adapt. This is also why powerful men speak less. Not because silence is a tactic, but because words are unnecessary when alignment exists. Their tone is even. Their pace is unhurried. Their responses are clean. No emotional charge. No defensive energy. No urgency to persuade. Urgency invites scrutiny. Calm repels it. Another trait of unquestioned men is selective engagement. They do not respond to everything. They do not correct every error. They do not chase every misunderstanding. They understand something deeply threatening to most people. Not every challenge deserves acknowledgement. By choosing when to engage, they elevate their participation. By elevating participation, they elevate status. Scarcity creates gravity. This is why their no feels heavier, why their approval feels rare, why their silence feels meaningful. They are not trying to win interactions. They are not trying to dominate. They are simply unmovable. And people do not push what does not shift. Here is the final truth of hidden disrespect. People test men who are still negotiating their place. They leave alone men who have already chosen it. If you are frequently questioned, interrupted, or challenged, it is not because others are aggressive. It is because your internal position is still visible. When that position settles, behavior around you changes without instruction. Not through fear, through alignment. Respect is not demanded, it is detected. And once detected, it no longer needs to be enforced. That is why the most powerful men rarely talk about power at all. They don't need to. The room already knows.